solid straight right hand.
I'm angry. I'm angry. Guys, it's happened. Yesterday's video, we talked about this person on the left. So this here is a female boxer, but she failed a gender eligibility test last year due to having elevated levels of testosterone, most likely because this person is intersex. But she is still benefiting from the elevated testosterone levels. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, go and watch it because you guys are absolutely blowing it up right now. 158,000 views overnight. Crazy. So this is a big story. We have to report on this. She battered a woman a couple of years ago in 2022, and that's what yesterday's video was about. Her actual fight within the Olympics was today, and it just went down, and this was the result. She won by first round stoppage in the first 46 seconds. She made her opponent, Angela Carini, quit, and Angela's being really upset about it. She's been in a few interviews crying, saying that this intersex person punches too hard, and it's an absolute disgrace that this is allowed to happen within the Olympics. Now, for the 1% of people who defend this and go, oh, they're not trans, if they pass the tests they should be allowed to compete. No. Let me give you the brief synopsis of what's happened. So the intersex person, Iman, failed the gender eligibility tests in 2023 under a different governing body. However, because the Olympics is happening in Paris, and you know what Paris is like? It's the woke capital of Europe. They're using a different governing body called the IOC, and the IOC haven't done the gender eligibility tests on this Iman. Instead, what they've said is, well, on a passport it says she's a woman, so let's go with that. She should be allowed to compete. Well, she's got balls inside her. She's obviously got some sort of sexual disorder, which, by the way, if you've got that going on, that's fine. There's no issues with that. Obviously, you can't help that. You are born like that. Fair play to you. Whatever. But she's got elevated levels of testosterone. She was tested. It was either in 2022 or 2023. And she was found to have male chromosomes. He has been, it's a he because they are intersex. We'll say they. For the first time on this channel, we'll use gender neutral pronouns. I don't know what to say anymore. They have been through male puberty. That's confirmed. And also, if you think, oh, this is just a one-off situation, no, there's another them competing tomorrow from Thailand. So for anyone out there defending this, I'd like to see what type of man you are, because ultimately, women lose, regardless if it's a man transitioning into a woman and then competing in women's sports, or whether a woman transitions into a man and competes with the men, or it's an intersex competing with men or women. Women just lose overall, and if you're a man with anything about you, you'd want to protect our women, and that's not being a simp or a white knight. That's just part of being a man. It should be intrinsic and natural within you to feel somewhat outraged about this. This right here is Angela Carini. She's the girl who has just lost to the intersex person. Now, I can't really show any footage. I can't even find any of the footage online, probably due to copyright purposes. So we've got to be very careful with what we show on this channel. But there is some footage that has surfaced of the match and the final combination, the finished Angela Carini, and we'll show that now. So here is the short clip of the finishing sequence. So this is the end of the fight. As we say, the fight was only 42 seconds. We can't find a full fight anywhere, maybe just because it's a brand new story, or maybe just because of copyright purposes. So watching this video of mine does not replace watching the original fight or the original work whatsoever. This falls under fair use. So on the left, we have Iman, and how ironic is that, by the way, being called Iman, and then you are an actual man. Should be called He-Man. And on the right, we have Angela Carini from Italy. And that was actually the finishing sequence. Now, it might not look like that big of a deal, but when we watch the punch from a different angle, you can see that it's actually quite a significant blow. Right. Boom. And here's another angle right here. So she throws the right hand, bang, twists her head round. That was one of those punches as well where Angela was like, okay, I'm all right. Let me just try and bounce around a little bit. I'll be fine. But then the pain set in, and then she was like, nah, I don't want this smoke anymore. At the end of the day, regardless of what you say, oh, she was born a female. Yeah, but she's intersex. If you're failing a test to say that you are a woman, and the test is basically saying you're a man, you've got male chromosomes, and you've got the testosterone levels of a man, right? You should not be allowed to be in there with other women. And look at the face on this one. Look, that makes me angry, the way he's like, bragging, boasting. We seen that in the fight yesterday. He was walking forwards with no care in the world for what was coming back at him, because he knows that he can probably take bigger punches, he can throw harder shots, and he was walking like that with his hands down. It's embarrassing, the fact that he's getting off on this. And the thing is, with these intersex people, the parents usually decide the gender at birth. So you could have said that this intersex person was a man at birth, but the parents went with female. But as I say, if you're now failing gender eligibility tests, really, this person would be better fully just transitioning into being a man. Like, just live your life as a man. If on a biological level you are a man, you are a man. Doesn't matter how long you grow your hair or how big your titties are. You're a man at the end of the day. Now, here we got J.K. Rowling, who, you know, sometimes can be a bit of a pain in the backside, but she tweeted this: "Could any picture sum up our new men's rights movement any better? The smear of a male who knows he's protected by a misogynist I hate that word, misogynist sporting establishment, enjoying the distress of a woman he's just punched in the head and whose life ambition he's just shattered." I'm kind of in agreement with it. Like, I don't like the whole misogynist sport establishment, although at the end of the day, it is favouring the men. As I said earlier, this only hurts women. But then look at this stupid idiot. We're talking about white knights before. This is a white knight right here, George Baker. "This is completely false. I can't believe so many people with high profiles are peddling this myth. The victorious boxer Iman Khalif is a woman. She was born a woman and is not transgender. She's from Algeria, where it is illegal to transition. This is bigotry, plain and simple." If you use the word bigotry, you're a fanny. You're a pussy. If you use that, oh, you're a bigot. You're a bigot. You know who uses that? It's always little weak-minded victims. That's what it is. You'll never get someone who's successful, in boss shape, makes a lot of money, commands respect from other high-value men using the words bigot and bigotry. I'm sorry, but it's always little pussies who use that word. Am I speaking facts or not? Let me know in the comments down below right now. Well, anyway, Helen Joyce tweeted this, responding to our white knight, George Baker, Mr. Bigotry himself. "No one is saying trans. They are saying male, probably with a disorder of sexual development, possibly 5 ARD, like Caster Semenya," which, if you don't know Caster Semenya, it's this runner right here who just looks like a straight-up African fella. If I was a woman running against that, I'd be fuming. To be honest, what does 5-ARD do? Specifically, the steroid 5-alpha reductase 2 enzyme is responsible for the chemical reaction that converts the hormone testosterone to DHT. Interesting fact, people with high DHT levels are those who lose their hair. DHT is essential for the normal development of male sexual characteristics before birth, particularly the formation of the external genitalia. So this disorder basically messes up your sexual development. Now, we don't know what this Iman actually has, but I am willing to bet that this Iman Khalif has got a set of balls in it somewhere. Look at this picture right here. Braggadocious. Doesn't care. Doesn't give a crap. If I was the dad of this man, woman, whatever he, she is, I'd say, listen, I love you. You're my daughter. You're my son. But you can't go and compete against other women. You need to compete against men or try a different sport, a non-contact sport. And even then, it's no good, is it? We've seen what happens when women go against men in football. They get destroyed. Full-on female professional soccer teams, football teams, lose against teenage boys.
Is it any worse than that?
We've seen what happens in tennis double matches when the men are serving against the women. The women can't get to the ball in time. The men just hit the ball too fast.
No, for sure.
40, 50.
Yeah, that's the one I'm waiting for.
40.
All right, well, this is kind of 6'10". Oh.
Game USA.
Giving the ball away if you just cross willy-nilly.
30.
You know what, that's just me.
So even in the non-contact sports, and here's Angela Carini. I don't know how much of this video I can play due to copyright purposes, but, you know, bless her, she's talking about a late father here, and she was fighting for him. I don't think this was after the fight that she's just lost. I think this was another fight because she's got a different colour kit on, but...
Non so se si sente. Lui è mio padre.
Oh, bless her, you know, bless her. It's just sad, isn't it? The fact that some girls have got to go through this. I mean, look at her, you can see how visibly upset she is here. I did see some reports that she'd broken her nose. I don't know if that's true or not, but man, what an absolute SHIT show this is. The Olympics need to get a grip of themselves. I'm glad I'm not watching it, to be honest. I don't even want to support this whatsoever. You guys on my last video gave me a lot of support and said that you're happy that I'm speaking out about this, and I'd like to use my platform to speak out about this. And I see some people reply back to those people and say, why? It's not going to make a difference. With that mindset, it's really not. If myself and hundreds or thousands of other YouTubers get behind this movement, and then you've got people like Sky Sports reporting on it and actually telling the truth as well. BBC are lying, by the way, and they're not fully disclosing the fact that she's got male chromosomes and she has been through male puberty. Lying little as usual, the BBC, always pushing that lefty agenda. I ain't got time for them. But if everyone actually voted with their viewership and with their wallets and stopped supporting this stuff, you usually get better outcomes. An example I used, and I don't know if this is the best example, but someone like Bud Light or Gillette, they went woke and they went broke and they got loads of backlash. But if it wasn't for that backlash, and if it wasn't for people no longer going out and buying those products, they probably would have just kept up with that woke agenda. Look at Disney. Disney is screwed right now. They're having to backpedal because they started pushing all the woke agenda and all the female empowerment in films and no longer giving them a hero's journey. They're just born excellent and born with superpowers. And people got fed up of it. And Disney lost so much money. They lost it because people just started cancelling the Disney Plus. They were fed up of it. So if people actually vote with the viewership, with the wallets, and more people start speaking out against this stuff, it will compound over time. If everyone just takes that mindset of like, oh, it won't really make a difference, we're just going to get more of this crap. So if you're fed up with this nonsense, put your comments below. Let your voice be heard. And if you want to support the channel some more, I've got my fitness app coming out next Thursday. And if you join the waiting list to get notified about my app release, I send you 12 free training programs right now. So instead of becoming one of these little weasels fighting against women, become an apex athlete and unleash the beast within. You guys let me know all your comments down below. Appreciate you all tuning in. We upload fighting content every single day on this channel. See you tomorrow.